Hi guys, I'm joined by two very exciting guests. I've got Mick Docherty, who is the head of Rossvale's Women's and Girls Academy, and I have Kerr, who is the Rossvale Dev Manager. How are you guys today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'll start with the first question, and it is, when did the love of football start?
For me, it was very early. I started playing football from the age of 4. And I've also followed Celtic with my parents and stuff going to games. So, started very, very early on in life for me, and it's just continued throughout my whole life, really.
When did you realise you guys wanted to become managers?
For me, it was when I realised I wasn't going to make it as a footballer. It was two PE teachers actually in St Ninians, Mr Mulgrew and Mr Boland, gave me the opportunity to go and do my SFA badges. And from there on, I went to college, and I was doing a bit of coaching, but I still wasn't sure. But then Danny Lennon at Clyde, he kind of took me under his wing, gave me some advice and things like that. Let me go and watch the first team train, things like that. It was just once I seen the actual professional side of it, I knew that that's where I wanted to be in, to be honest.
And what about you, Mick?
Well, I was the same as Joe. I came from older brothers and that played football. Abigail, I played no bad level myself, but basically as the managing side, it's my two daughters. They started playing football at 4 years of age, and that's what got me into kind of helping coach them, and then it just escalated from there. Fun force with the girls up to under 11s, and then before I knew it, I'm in charge of Rossvale's Women and Girls Academy. So it's been a long journey, a good journey, very worthwhile, because we've made a difference to people along the road. We've made memories that people take with them, and I absolutely love it. That's absolutely love it.
Stuff. Have you got a manager that you look up to, whether that is tactics or kind of where they're at in the game?
For me, I've got a couple. For me, Ange Postecoglou is one that I look up to just now, just for the fact that he came into Celtic, no one knew him, no one gave him a chance, but he believed in his philosophy, he believed in his players, and obviously was very successful as down in the English Premier League. Pep Guardiola is another one for me. His philosophy of attacking and constant keeping the ball and things, the press off of the ball, and even if he wins 7-1, he still goes back to the players and goes on about the mistake that they made for that one goal. I think the finer details is very important, because it's okay to say, yeah, we've scored 7 goals, but if you keep just going, oh, we've scored and stuff, and you don't work on the mistakes, you can never get to that next level, which obviously they've done eventually by winning the Champions League and everything in England.
Yep. What about you, Mick?
Julie McSherry, the first team manager, and Joe's the development team manager. I'm kind of looking up to they guys, because what I see, what's development at Rossvale and the first team and the development team, it's just it's a great place to be. So I'm more an in-house guy. Maybe I'm a wee bit selfish because I'm ahead of the Women and Girls Academy, but these two guys are two people that's come in, Julie and Joe. The whole club is flying, so, and the rest of the academy is reaping the benefits of it, seeing how well these Julie and Joe are currently doing at the moment, and long may it continue.
If you weren't a manager, what would you be doing? Is there another sport you would have taken up, or has it always been football?
For me, it's always been football. Obviously, played very early on and was in and out Celtic's academy and stuff. But for me, it was always football. I'm going to be going back to uni at the end of the summer this year to do a bit of sports development. I like going into sort of different communities and finding out about different sort of sports, and the barriers of it and stuff. I want to kind of break them, whether that is people don't have enough money, can we then find funding to go and get people into sports and things like that. I like the business side of it, but I also like the sort of psychology side of it as well. When I was in college, I was very interested in that. So probably do something like that, maybe a sports coordinator or something like that, or a psychologist or something.
Well, myself, I'm younger. I like golf. I was when I left school. I went and become a qualified greenkeeper, so I was into golf a bit. I like the boxing side of it. So there's numerous sports, golf, football. I was just one of these people that I was interested in all kind of sports. But football has always been the number one sport for me. Watching it, playing it, supporting, and now trying to help the next generation just to be, as I say, make a difference and make happy memories.
Mm-hmm. And how do you guys deal with the pressure of being a manager? Obviously, sometimes kind of if a team loses, they go straight like the manager. How do you deal with that sort of pressure?
For me, it's a little bit different because we've got a development squad. We've not quite got the pressure of like Julie has of winning the league and things just now. Maybe the pressure might be a wee bit more next season and stuff once the development squad has been up and running for a longer time. But for me, I do feel pressure obviously to win games, but for me the biggest pressure is trying to get everyone game time and develop the players. So when I'm feeling a bit down and things that maybe I've not been able to give certain players game time or things like that, I'll go and surround myself with my family or friends and stuff and just try and switch off for a bit. Mick is great as well. If you phone him, you can talk to him, speak about things and make a plan up to try and get to that next level. Julie's been supportive as well since I've come into the club as well, offering advice as well, maybe been in the game a wee bit longer than me. So it's just really going to my supportive background with friends and stuff, switching off, maybe going out and doing something, whether that's even going and watching a game of football or something like that, or going to the cinema or something.
And how do you deal with the pressure of being a manager?
Well, I don't know if you know this, Abigail, but just at the tail end of last season, I was the manager coach with Jim Hull with the under 18s, and we were on a great run. Early on in the season, we won the League Plate Cup, and we thought that was great. But then, with the hard work, the dedication of the staff, and especially the girls, we went on a run, and lo and behold, before we knew it, it went into a three-way playoff. It was ourselves, Rossvale, Glasgow Girls, and Glasgow City. So it went to a three-team playoff. So there was a bit of pressure there. But to try and take that away from the girls, they were so calm. It was great. But when me and Jim were thinking a bit of pressure, we could lean on the likes of Julie, the first team manager. Joe was on board at that point as well. So basically, there's a network there. If anybody's feeling pressured or they feel as if they're not left alone. They're not left alone because the ethos our Rossvale club is that we're there to support everyone. So we don't feel as if there's going to be pressure. Yeah, pressure might think when they're going to try and go for titles and things like that, but everybody's aware that there's somebody there to support, to help. You'll not carry the burden yourself because you win as a team, you lose as a team. And what we've got is there's no iron team. We're all in it together. One lose or draw, we'll be there supporting first each other and ultimately the girls, because that's the ones that matter. They're the ones that are out there every training session, every game. They're putting the effort in. So we all support each other. It's just a great setup.
Yeah. And for you guys, what would the dream club to manage at and dream stadium to manage at? What would they be?
For me, I've got two. Club-wise would be Celtic and Parkhead. I'd love to be in the dugout there or even coach there, whether that's for a different team or that coaching in Parkhead. But I would love to be in charge of Celtic. It's everyone's dream to be there for the club. But I would also like to do it internationally as well. I'd like to be a part of the Scotland squad one day, and try and represent our nation, try and get a bit better results for us.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Mick?
For myself, I'm the same opinions as Joe. I've always grew up being a Celtic supporter. So if I got the opportunity to manage any team, it would be Celtic. Because I'm involved in the women's game now, my second choice would be Celtic women's. But that's as you can see, the love of Celtic's here. So always Celtic for me, Abigail.
Mm-hmm. What is the best football memory for you guys as managers?
For me, I've got actually a couple, to be honest. One would probably be when I was at my last club, Central, was being a young boy in his 20s, making his debut coaching in the Scottish Cup. Went on a wee Scottish Cup run. Obviously, we played big teams. We put out Stenhousemuir in I think it was the third round. We put them out on penalties. That was a great day for me. I knew some of the girls that played for them as well. Actually played with one of them when I was younger as well. So it was great for me. And then we got round to the fourth round of the Scottish Cup and actually get put out by Rossvale. Julie decided to end my dream early there. But yeah, that, and to be honest, coming in to Rossvale, being in the development squad, which the under-18 squad at the time was a development squad as well. So training them and bringing them up and then going and helping Jim and Mick out on game days and stuff, and just seeing the passion they had, the talent they had going on and winning that league. I think to win the league, actually, the last 3 games they scored very, very late on, especially the very last game. It was the 96th minute that they scored to take the game into extra time in the playoff to win the league. So that would probably, they 2 memories are probably going to live down for a lot of time, a long time for me. Even if I went massive and did manage with Celtic and things like that, the memories of just seeing all the girls, all the parents cheering and things, the pride in the club. It was just a great day.
And for you, Mick, what's the best memory you've got as a manager?
Well, as alluded to what Joe says here, Abigail, the first game playoff against Glasgow Girls, we were 2-1 down with less than 10 minutes to go. I thought that was great then when we made it 2 each, and then we went on and scored a late winner. I thought that was a great memory because it then put us into the last game having a chance. But as Joe says, we were 1-0 down, and then Becky decides to hit a ball that we were thinking, why is she doing it? But lo and behold, it proved pivotal, because when Ellie put that equaliser in the 96th minute, I thought, here, this is good. But then when we went 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, so I would say they 2 games, we left it late on both of them, but a game last 90 minutes, so the girls were geared up for it. So they 2 games, being down against Glasgow Girls, turning that round, and then being down against Glasgow City and turning that. So that's the 2 best memories, because at the end of the day, that's what actually you won a title with that. I know people can say, oh, early doors, they maybe got a result here that put them into the next round, or it put a big gun out, but they 2 results actually cultivated and us actually winning the title. So that's the 2 that stick out for me.
Mm-hmm. And what positives of being a football manager? Obviously, you've touched on a few memories you've been made, and kind of how would you sum it up, the positives of being a manager?
Positives for me are the relationships you build up, whether it's with the players, if you're coaching, and the younger ones, you obviously build that relationship up with the parents. For example, the under-18s parents are now in the development squad, so then the senior arm of the game, the parents all still come to the games and stuff, and it's when you get a really good result, everyone's happy. You know that you've made their weekend as well. Being able to develop players as well, seeing someone that's come in maybe a bit rusty giving them that extra bit of belief in themselves, working with them, and then seeing them either flying for you, or you see them later on a few years later for another team and they've progressed. It's a great feeling to see just that the confidence in them, the ability has all grown, things like that. To me, that would be the positives.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Mick?
About me, what the good things? What was the question again, Abigail?
Yeah, what are the positives of being a manager?
The positives is that, as Joe says, see if the girls are developing, but they're learning in a safe environment, they're enjoying it. There's no pressure on them. First and foremost, if you go out there and as long as they perform, they give you the effort, then the rewards are there. So it's about making memories and things that people take in years to come. That when they joined Rossvale, they were fully supportive. Everybody bought into what we were trying to achieve, what we're trying to do, but ultimately it's to develop the girls, take them as far as they can possibly go. And if it, as Joe says, if it means moving on to what they think is bigger and better clubs, then they go with full support. But the way Rossvale's going at the moment, do we actually need to lose players because we're in the peripheral SPL2? We need a point to get there, 3 games to go. So all the hard work that's been created in the last 10, 15 years is coming to fruition now. We've got a full pathway. We've got the tiny tots, the fun 4s, 8s, 10s, 12s, 14s, 16s, development team, the first team. So the pathway's there. It's a full pathway. So that's what makes us proud, that we've got girls at all abilities that will come, enjoy it. If they want to work hard, the coaching will be there for them to go as far as they can in the game. But as I say, make memories and be happy, and it's just a great place to be at the moment. So long may it continue.
Moving on, any advice to young footballers wanting to make football into a career, whether that is playing or management?
To me, it would just be dedication and hard work for both. Playing wise, I was never one that really liked training. I hated that. I always wanted to get to that weekend, to get the games and score goals, and I thought that was what was important. But it's not until I'm now a coach myself, and I've seen a few players like that, and it frustrates you because you know that they could go up and be one of the really great players and things. So for me, it would just be, as a player, just do your best, do your very best at every training session, put the hard work in, even when you're feeling down, if you're going through a bad spell, like if you're a striker and you've not scored 10, 20 games, just keep going along, trust in the process, trust in your manager, your coaches. For being a coach, similar, it's just trying to keep the head and not give up. You might go to a club and it might not work out for you, might get really bad results, or the club just doesn't suit you. But also in football, you need to be there to do the hard work, but also realise that, especially in the women's side, you're not always going to get paid to do it. So you need to go there and be willing to work for free, be willing to build your CV up, be willing to build your experience, do what it has to take to go and get yourself into that next level, take your club into the next level as well, because there is, even in the men's game, I think it's something like 92% of like actual paid jobs are part-time as well. So you need to be willing to realise that you might not be at that top level for years to come. You might be coaching 30 years before you actually get a paid position. So to me, it would be go and do the hard work and prove to everyone that you deserve to be one of the 8% in full-time work.
Mm-hmm. Any advice you've got, Mick, for anyone wanting to make football into a coach?
Well, first and foremost, enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it. if you enjoy it and you put the hard work in, the two marry up together. Because you could come in and put the hard work in, you don't enjoy it. You can come in and enjoy it, don't put the hard work in. There's something's got to give. So I would say anybody that's take it up, first and foremost, enjoy it, but ultimately put the hard work in. Because if you enjoy it and you put the hard work in, then you will reap the benefits.
And the next one is, for those who haven't heard of Rossvale and Rossvale Development, how would you be able to tell those, like, what league are you guys in? Where do you train? And for those who might be interested in coming to games?
Well, I can answer for the development squad. I'll let Mick speak about the first team. Development squad, we train at Hunters Hill training complex in Auchinleon. We mostly play our home games there as well, if kick-off times, and that allows it. The league that we're playing in just now is the SWFL West in the senior arm of the game. So that's where the development squad is just now.
Mm-hmm. And what about the first team, Mick?
Well, the first team on the national championship, Abigail, as I said earlier on there, Julie, the staff and the girls have absolutely had a tremendous season. The last game at the weekend, that finished the campaign before the split, so they've got a free weekend this weekend, and then we get into the final 3 games of the campaign. We currently sit 8 points clear of A United in the national championship, so we need 1 point out of the last 3 games to secure SPL2 status, and that's phenomenal for the club. It's phenomenal for the area, because where we are based, Eastern Bartonshire, if and when the girls do get that promotion, they'll be the top ranked team in Eastern Bartonshire, which 3 years ago, basically, just think about it, we're well ahead of schedule and are going about hard work and commitment. And Rossvale have got full of hard workers, full of committed people. 3 years ago, I remember standing in a car park at the COVID time, setting up, trying to set a women's team up. So fair play to the guys that stood by us, because COVID came, the players could easily have walked away, went to other teams, the staff could have walked away, but with the dedication, we stayed at it, we worked at it, and lo and behold, 3 years down the line, we're 1 point away for SPL2 football, which is absolutely massive. And it's not just massive for the first team, for the club, it's for the girls that's coming through. I mentioned the pathway earlier on there. These girls are looking up to the first team, they're looking up to Joe's team and the development team, and they want to be part of that. So that's where Rossvale stand at the moment. We're 1 point away from securing SPL2 status, which is phenomenal. And then the 21st next month, the girls in the League Cup final as well. So potentially the first team could be doing a League and Cup double, which is absolutely phenomenal. I can't praise the people that's put all the hard work into this, because I know you can see all mixed ahead of the Women's Girls Academy, but if it was for all these people that were willing to put the time, the effort, the work rate in, and the players and the girls through the academy, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. So it's credit to them. But as you asked the question, that's where Rossvale is at the moment. We're 1 point away from securing SPL2 football, which is absolutely phenomenal. Massive for the club.
This is a question for Mick. So how has it been head of Rossvale Women's and Girls Academy? What are the challenges you have faced, and how has the club changed from where it was to now?
It's changed dramatically. The last 2 or 3 years, we became, in my opinion, more professional. That's nothing to say against the people that was there beforehand, but when the momentum started building, the pathway get bigger, the pathway get stronger. As a club, we had to be more professional. There was decisions made along the way that people weren't happy with at the time, but I think looking back, and they will look now and say, wait a wee minute, those decisions were justified, because everything doesn't run smoothly. There will be challenges ahead. You will down. It's how you stand up. It's how you say, right, we'll go and we'll keep going, and we'll hopefully become stronger. And it is hard work. But what I will say is, if we do secure SPL2 football, that doesn't mean to say that that's us the finished article. That's not going to happen. We want to say, right, we've reached this. Can we go a stage further? Can we develop the club better? Can we improve the club better? Can we become more professional? So it's a case of we're actually 3 or 4 years ahead of schedule, Abigail, because I'll go back to when we were standing in that car park, we were saying, can we get a women's team up to create the pathway for the girls that are coming through? Once that was done, and then they've become more successful, the feedback is generating throughout the club, because, as Joe says, the development's flying. The 18s of last year were flying, now moved up to development. Current 18s are flying, current 16s are flying. So as the feedback has been absolutely tremendous throughout the academy. But what I will say is, if the girls get to SPL2, the club get to SPL2, who's to say we can't go a stage further? Because we are ahead of schedule. It's a 5 or 6 year programme. We've done it, hopefully, we've done it in 3, but that doesn't mean to say that we're going to sit stagnant for the next 2 or 3 years. We'll push on again with the right people at the helm, with the right committed people. So let's go a stage further and let's see as far as we can go.
What more do you guys think can be done to grow the women's game?
I feel a wee bit more exposure, a bit more televised games and things, a wee bit more funding. The SFA trying to maybe help out a bit more with facilities and things like that for the smaller clubs down at grassroots level as well. I know there's a few clubs out there that can't get astro pitches, so in the winter have to call off a lot of games, which can be detrimental both to their season but also the growth of the club and the players' ability as well. So I think that needs to get a wee bit better, trying to work together as well.
And for you, Mick?
I think funding, Abigail. Funding is massive in any sport, but with the growth of the women's game at this moment in time, I think if there was more funding, but start at the grassroots. If you get the grassroots right, then everything tends to move forward, because you don't want to start at the top and work your way back. For me, I would be looking at funding at grassroots. That's what I would be looking at, because that would generate from the start of the grassroots, and it would filter right through to what you're trying to achieve. So for me, it would be funding. How they bring that in, sponsorship, whatever, but definitely more funding for the women's game, because the women's game is doing its job. It's growing, it's developing, it's getting bigger. So, and that's with less, let's say, less finances and what's put in the men's game. So, if the women's section of the football is growing, well, I think they deserve more funding from the governing bodies to enhance that, because there's a lot of teams like us that are doing the hard work, and we're funding it ourselves with sponsors and all sorts, and doing things within the club. That's benefiting the game in general. So I think if there was more funding put in at grassroots, it would help other clubs to go and achieve what they plan to do, instead of relying on certain sponsors who could walk away at any time. So for me, it would be funding at grassroots. That'd be a start for me.
Amazing. That's all the questions I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and good luck with the rest of the season.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
Right. Thank you.